I really liked the autobiography because I thought it gave us a glimpse into apartheid South Africa. Definitely a version that I wouldn't have appreciated before as to the complexities of being a mixed race child during that time. An example of pathos. So, under apartheid South Africa, Trevor Noah's life was considered a crime because his identity, while defined according to race, he was born to mixed parents. And what really should have been a life demonstrating that people want to be together ultimately made his childhood even more difficult for him. It was sad to see that the color of his skin and not what was in his heart would ultimately define where he was told to work and even live. An example of Lagos. One of the defining elements of Trevor Noah's youth was his mother's insistence on getting an education. His mom, Patricia, chose to speak to her son like an adult, often in English, while also encouraging him to read as much as he could. His mom's logic was that it was thanks to her education that she was able to get a better job and elevate her family from poverty and ultimately raise two children on her own. This effort instilled in Trevor the belief that life immediately around him wasn't his future forever, and that he deserved to desire more out of life and better for himself. I think people should read that book because it will afford them empathy to understand that life is not necessarily as simple as cut and dry, black and white, if you will, as we might imagine. In the circumstance that Trevor Noah speaks about, there were lots of nuances to his ability to fit in, and I think that it's an excellent book to give us sort of a little bit of insight into the human side of things.